Hello guys, my name is Madhur and welcome to my channel. This is the first tutorial in the series of tutorials on C programming for beginners. Now you're watching this tutorial, you would probably be knowing what C is, but in case you don't, then C is a programming language that was developed in 1972 by a guy named Dennis Ritchie. Now, ever since it was developed, C has been very popular and it's still in use. And it's used for a variety of purposes. It's used to make operating systems and small size applications and games and for a lot of other different things. And lots of programming languages have been derived from C. So if you learn C, then it'll be easy for you to pick up lots of other languages. And in case you don't know C and if you haven't worked with it, then it really won't be a waste of your time if you would learn the language and if you would learn to coordinate. So the way we are going to deal with the language in this course is we are going to learn the fundamentals first, the syntax, the basic constructs, and then we are going to do sufficient practice by working on lots and lots of interesting problems. And then we are also going to check out some advanced concepts at the end of the course, right? Now, before we get started, there's something that we need to understand, and that is compilation. Now, communicating with the computer involves speaking the language of the computer, which rules out English. And because the operating system or the computer, it understands binary language, which is very boring, bunch of ones and zeros, and we cannot learn that. So we are going to learn C, and we are going to use a software that's going to convert our C code into something that the operating system can understand and operate on. And this process is called compilation. And the software that we are going to use in this course is called CodeBlocks. And CodeBlocks thus is a compiler, right? So I'm going to demonstrate how to install CodeBlocks in your operating system. And you can skip past these instructions if you already have CodeBlocks installed. But if you don't, then this is just going to take about a minute. So make a Google search for CodeBlocks and follow the downloads link in the first item that pops on your screen. And on the page that opens up, you would see three links. The first one would be download the binary release. The second one would be download the source code, and the third one would be retrieve source code from SVN. And we are interested in downloading the binary release because we do not want to build the application from the source code and then install it. Instead, we want code that's already built and the executable file, so that we double click on it and install our application. So that's easy and convenient, and that's why we're going to do that. So click on download the binary release, and then depending on the operating system that you have to select an executable set of file for yourself. And I assume that you guys are using Windows, and I'm just going to discuss instructions for Windows users. But if you're using other operating systems, then trust me, the installation is very simple, and you probably won't have to, understand anything new to install the application. If you install applications before, then you just have to follow the on-screen instructions, and you just have to, do basic stuff to have the application ready for you. Now, you would see two set of files here, right? The second one would be much larger in size than the first one, and we have to download and install the second set of file because we need the GCC compiler, and that's something that's included in the second set of file. So select this one, and the version you would see is 12.11, and this is at the time of recording of this tutorial. If you watch this tutorial 5 years later, then you would see something else. You would see a different version number, and the size would also be different, right? This one's 96.8 MB, but they keep adding and subtracting features, so the size is going to vary. And select any of the two servers that you see, and I just clicked on Burley OS, and my download would begin automatically. Now I have already downloaded the executable set of files, so I'm not going to download it again. So I'll cancel the download, and let me minimize the browser, and you would see that in the downloads folder I have this set of file, and the version of CodeBlocks that I have is 10.05. But it really doesn't make much difference whatever version you have, because the features of the software that we are going to use in this course are the features that are going to stay constant between releases. So if you have 10.05 or 12.11 or 15.98, it won't really make much difference, right? But they have some kind of convention for naming their releases, so maybe there won't be 15.98. But what I mean to say is that you don't have to be concerned about the version of the software that you have, right? So when you have downloaded the setup file, just double click on it. Your operating system is going to ask you for the permission to install the application, so click on yes. and then the installation will begin, and you just have to click on next a few times, and then you have to click on check the I agree box, and then click on next a few more times, and just sit with the custom settings, and your installation will run smoothly, and you would have the software ready for you at the end. And it really isn't much of a hassle, and you would be able to deal with it yourself. And I've installed the software already, so I'm not going to go through the steps that are involved, but trust me, it's really very simple. So I'm going to cancel the installation, and what I've done is, for the sake of convenience, I've created a shortcut on the taskbar at the bottom. You can either do that, or you can pin the software to the start menu, or you can create an icon on the desktop. You can do whatever is most convenient for you. And when I click on the icon that I have on the taskbar, I see this page. And if you guys also see this page, then it means you're good to go. You can follow along the tutorials in this course, and you have the software installed. So congratulations. Now in the next tutorial, we are going to create our first C program, and we are going to understand the statements that go in it, and we're going to understand what does what, right? So in this tutorial, I just wanted to discuss what compilation is and what C is, and why do you need a compiler. Now CodeBlocks is not basically just a compiler. It's an IDE. It's an integrated development environment, and it offers you a text editor. This is the region. This region that you see here is a text editor, and it offers you a compiler. It offers you debugging tools, and lots of other fancy features that we won't really be interested in using in this course. But it's a lot more than a compiler, right? So I wanted to discuss the significance of using such a software, why you actually need it, and how to install CodeBlocks. Yeah, so these were the things I wanted to talk about in this course, and I'm going to try and make this course as entertaining as possible for you guys, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun. And by the end of the series, all of us will be expert C programmers. So see you guys in the next tutorial. Stick with me in this course, and we're going to have a lot of fun.